Chapter 11. The chapter begins with the author describing the time that he saw an episode of the X-Files which featured the Mothman. The X-Files is normally it has many story arcs, and the author prefers UFOs and aliens, which is what the X-Files is mostly known for. But this episode was about the Mothman. And the Mothman is some type of urban legend or some type of story that happened in the 1960s in West Virginia, in a town in West Virginia. And it happened around the 1960s. And it was basically about a winged creature that appeared around that area in around that time. And the creature is somehow blamed for the collapse of the bridge which killed like 40 people. Well, anyway, there was an episode on the X-Files which featured the Mothman, and also they came out with a movie called The Mothman Prophecies, which was based on a book about the same topic. And it was written by John Keel. Well, anyway, when the movie came, the author became obsessed with the topic, and he read John Keel's book and many other publications about the matter. And basically, Mothman is a story that took place in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And it just involved many weird things, including the appearance of Mothman, which was some type of creature that could like camouflage in plain sight, and he had like long wings. He had red eyes that were 6 feet apart and around the body. So John Keel and Mary Hyre investigated the events that happened in 1966, and during their investigation, they encountered many different odd things, like that included UFOs and Men in Black and weird phone calls and mutilation of domestic animals and weird lights in the sky, and all that good stuff. And this was John Keel and Mary Hyre, which were the investigators that were just looking into the strange events in Point Pleasant. And John Keel went on to write a book, and the Mothman Prophecies was based on that book. And one encounter that happened in 1966 was of a young couple that was driving around an area called the TNT area in Point Pleasant, which was a munitions plant during World War II. And that was a place where teenagers used to hang out. So the young couple was driving, and they were driving like 100 miles an hour. And while they were driving, they saw like a figure that was 6 feet tall. It had wings and the red eyes. And that encounter happened in 1966, but in October of 2001, a man living in Camden, Maine, saw a similar creature. And this man, which didn't want to be identified, was living in Camden. And the way the author tracked him down was that he made some type of post in Facebook on a website about cryptozoology, which I don't know much about, but it's about unusual animals or unusual creatures. So this man was a resident in Camden, and he was walking down Washington Street in the early evening in October of 2001. And while he was walking, he heard like a squeak. And at first he thought it was some type of rodent, but he didn't know where the sound was coming from. And then he looked above him, and he saw a large humanoid shaped fly above him. And he had a rounded body with translucent wings and like a weird looking head. And he didn't know what that was. He was maybe thinking that it was some type of animal, but it was just too weird. And he told other people about it, like his friends and family, but they dismissed it, and they told him that maybe he was watching maybe he saw like a large bird or some other type of animal. And he wasn't sure what he saw. And that's where he posted on the story about his encounter on Facebook. And a few months later, Osborne, which was the name of the man, was walking on Washington Street, and he saw the same thing. Just some creature that was flying, and was just flying into the swamps and into the woods behind the houses. And for some reason, when he saw his second sighting, he thought that maybe he saw a bird, because so many people were telling him, "Oh, you probably saw a bird." So when he saw it a second time, for some reason in his mind, he thought that, oh, that's probably a small bird. So this man, Osborne, forgot about the encounter, and he went off to college, and during summer break, he went back home to Camden, and then he got together with an old friend, and they just went driving around town, around a part of the town that they don't usually go. And as they're driving, something smacks into the windshield, some type of animal. and they don't know what it is, but he has like long wings, and the animal just smacks into the windshield, and it was kind of like gray, lumpy, and it has translucent wings, and they were stoned, and as they were like slowing down to get a closer look as to what it was, the creature kind of like came back to life and flew off. And they just couldn't explain what just happened. And after that, Osborne began thinking back to his old encounters of the animal that he previously saw.